Hey, buddy, hit that subscribe. Just a sec for you, but it means the world to me. I was standing in a hospital cafeteria, holding a plastic tray that smelled like burnt coffee and reheated eggs, when my phone buzzed. My financial advisor. That call changed everything. He didn't waste time. Victor, the transfer's complete. After taxes, you're officially sitting on $8.5 million. I had to grab the edge of the table to steady myself. I'd worked construction most of my life, busted my back for 4 decades, and now, at 68, I was richer than I'd ever imagined. Not rich like celebrities, but never have to stress again rich. I hung up, took a breath, and walked back toward the table where my son Marcus and his wife Nicole were sitting. The second I reached the table, I bumped Marcus's arm by accident. Coffee sloshed everywhere. Apologies flew. Napkins everywhere. Cups shifted. Something felt off. Without thinking too hard, I swapped the 2 coffee cups back to where I thought they belonged. 15 minutes later, my son started sweating like he'd just run a marathon. But I'm getting ahead of myself. Let me rewind. 3 months earlier, I was doing the same thing I'd done every Saturday for the past 20 years, buying a scratch-off ticket from a beat-up 7-Eleven on Morrison Street. My late wife, Margaret, used to clown me for it. "Victor," she'd laugh, "you're going to hit it big one day, and I won't even be here to see it." She passed 4 years ago. Cancer took her fast, took our savings even faster. That lottery ticket was our little tradition, something I kept doing to feel close to her. That morning, I scratched the numbers at my kitchen counter while the coffee brewed. I checked the ticket once, twice, 3 times. Then I checked the website. Then I sat down, because I'd won, not just a little. The jackpot. The weeks after that were insane. Lawyers, advisors, paperwork, nonstop phone calls. I took the lump sum. After taxes, it landed at $8.5 million. More money than a guy like me ever plans for. My daughter Sarah cried when I told her. She's a nurse practitioner in Seattle. Good heart, good husband, good kids. "Dad," she said, "this is your moment." My son Marcus called later. And the tone in his voice? Yeah, that one. The same tone Margaret used to warn me about. "Dad, this is huge," Marcus said. "We gotta celebrate. Nicole, and I want to take you to dinner. Somewhere nice." Marcus had always chased money. Real estate, flashy cars, big promises. He looked successful, but I knew better. Dad has a smell, and Marcus carried it with him. Nicole, Margaret never trusted her. She married the idea of Marcus. Margaret once whispered to me, "Not the man." I brushed it off back then. I shouldn't have. After I won the lottery, Marcus started calling every few days. "Dad, you should invest in this." "Dad, we found this opportunity." "Dad, let's build something together." Then came my routine doctor visit at County General. Nothing serious. Blood pressure stuff. On my way out, Marcus calls. "Where you at?" "The hospital." "Perfect. We're 10 minutes away." That should have been my second warning. They showed up dressed like they were walking into a photo shoot, not a hospital cafeteria. Nicole wore designer sunglasses indoors. Marcus forgot his wallet. Again, we sat in the corner, away from everyone. That's when the pitch started. Real estate, big returns, fast money. I shut it down. Hard. Marcus didn't like that. Nicole really didn't like that. Then Marcus crossed a line. He brought up his mother. That's when Nicole brought the coffee. 2 identical cups. One had a tiny chip on the rim. I took the chip one. My phone rang. Financial advisor again. I stepped away. When I came back, everything was chaos. Coffee spilled, cups moved, apologies everywhere. And for some reason, my gut screamed. So I switched the cups. Minutes later, Marcus took a long sip. And then everything went sideways. His face went pale. His hands shook. Sweat poured down his forehead. Nicole panicked. I called for help. And that's when I realized, whatever was meant for me, my son had just swallowed it. Rehook. What exactly was in that coffee? Why did Nicole panic instead of helping? And was this really an accident or something much darker? The second the nurse saw Marcus, her face changed. Not panic exactly, more like that sharp, professional look doctors get when something's really wrong. She grabbed his wrist, checked his pulse, and yelled for backup. Within seconds, 2 more nurses and a doctor rushed over. Marcus tried to speak, but his words came out slurred. His eyes couldn't focus. His whole body looked like it was fighting something invisible. Nicole stood frozen, not crying, not yelling for help, just staring. That's when my stomach dropped. I'd spent years on construction sites and 2 tours overseas. You learn to read people. And Nicole wasn't scared for her husband. She was scared of getting caught. They rushed Marcus onto a gurney and started rolling him toward the ER. I followed, my heart pounding so loud it felt like it was echoing off the hospital walls. Nicole lagged behind, glued to her phone, not calling anyone, just staring at the screen like she was waiting for bad news to turn worse. Dr. Rivera showed up, the same doctor who checked me earlier that day. "What happened?" he asked. "Coffee," I said. "Food." It came on fast. Way too fast. His jaw tightened. "Bring the cups." Nicole immediately reached for them. "Leave those," Dr. Rivera snapped. "Now." A nurse sealed both cups in plastic bags. That's when Nicole's mask cracked. Just for half a second. Her lips pressed tight. Her eyes flicked toward the exit. I saw it. In the waiting room. Time stretched like it was messing with me on purpose. Every minute felt like 10. Nicole sat across the room, arms crossed, leg bouncing. Phone clutched like a lifeline. Still no calls. No tears. No prayers. Just nerves. 30 minutes later, a hospital security guard approached me. His name tag said James. Big guy. Calm eyes. Military posture. "Mr. Crawford," he said quietly, "can I talk to you for a second?" We stepped into the hallway. I was doing rounds earlier in the cafeteria. James said, "I saw something that didn't sit right with me." He pulled out his phone. The video started while I was on my call. Marcus and Nicole sat at the table. Nicole reached into her purse and pulled out a small plastic bag. She slid it across like it was nothing. Marcus hesitated, looked around, then opened it. My chest tightened. He poured something into the coffee cup, the one with the chipped rim. James swallowed. Then you came back. There was a spill, and the cups got switched. I didn't know what to think. But after what happened to your son, my legs felt weak. My own son, my blood, had just tried to poison me. "Send that video to Dr. Rivera," I said, "and call the cops." James nodded. Already done. When I walked back into the waiting room, Nicole was gone. A nurse said she wanted the restroom. I didn't buy it for a second. I headed toward the front entrance. And there she was, pushing through the doors like her life depended on it. "Nicole!" I called. She spun around, eyes wild, mascara streaking down her face. "I can't do this," she said. "I can't." "Can't do what?" I asked. "Watch your husband suffer from what you put in that cup?" She broke. "It wasn't supposed to be him," she cried. "It was supposed to be you. Just enough to make you confused. Weak." We had paperwork ready. Power of attorney. Everything. The words hit me like a punch to the chest. "You were going to drug me, steal my money?" "We're drowning," she shouted. "Debt. Foreclosure. Collectors. That money would have saved us. And you don't even need it. You think that makes it okay?" "You're old," she snapped. "You're alone. What were you going to do? Die rich in that tiny house?" That's when 2 police officers walked in behind me. Nicole turned and bolted. Didn't make it 5 steps. They stopped her gently, cuffed her, and read her rights while she sobbed on the floor. Back in the ER, Dr. Rivera pulled me aside. "If you drank that coffee," he said quietly, "with your blood pressure meds, this could have killed you." I sat down hard. The coffee cups. The switch. That gut feeling. It had saved my life. Marcus stabilized later that night. The drug wasn't lethal on its own, but dangerous enough. Police found forged documents, fake notarizations, and more evidence than I ever wanted to see. My family wasn't just broken. It was criminal. Will Marcus survive? And if he does, will he admit the truth? What charges are coming next? And how do you forgive a son who tried to poison his own father? Marcus survived the night. That sentence should have brought relief. Instead, it just made everything heavier. Dr. Rivera explained it straight. No sugarcoating. The drug cocktail in his system was meant to knock someone out, mess with their head, make them easy to control. For a younger guy, it was dangerous. For someone my age on blood pressure meds, it could have been a death sentence. The cops didn't waste time. They questioned Marcus as soon as he could talk. I wasn't in the room, but I could hear Ray's voices through the thin hospital walls. At first, he played dumb. Said he didn't know where the drugs came from. Blamed Nicole. Said she handled everything. But then the security footage came out, and the story collapsed. Marcus had been the one holding the bag. Marcus had poured the powder. Marcus had watched the cup like it was a ticking bomb. There was no talking his way out of that. Nicole tried to flip first. Claimed Marcus manipulated her. Marcus tried the same move. Said he was desperate. Said he felt trapped. Said money messed with his head. Funny how everyone suddenly had excuses once the cuffs came out. The charges were ugly. Attempted poisoning, fraud, conspiracy, attempted theft. The kind of charges that don't disappear with a good lawyer and a sad story. Sarah flew in the next morning. The second she saw me, she broke down, held on to me like she was afraid I'd disappear if she let go. How could he do this? She asked through tears. How could my own brother? I didn't have an answer. 6 months later, we were sitting in a courtroom that smelled like old wood and regret. Marcus looked smaller somehow, like the weight of what he'd done had finally crushed him. Nicole sat 2 rows ahead, stone-faced. No tears, no remorse. The prosecution laid it all out, security footage, toxicology reports, forged documents. Then came the journal. Nicole's handwriting filled the pages. Step-by-step planning. Dates. Backup plans. Marcus's notes scribbled in the margins. That one hurt the most. The jury didn't take long. 3 hours. Guilty on all counts. Marcus got 4 years. Nicole got 6. The judge called it a betrayal of the deepest family trust imaginable. I didn't look at Nicole. I looked at my son. For the first time since all this started, Marcus met my eyes, and I saw real shame. Not fear. Not anger. Shame. I didn't visit him in prison the first year. Sarah did. She said he changed. Lost weight. Worked in the library. Took classes. Asked about me every time. I wasn't ready. Year 2, I went. The visiting room was cold, quiet, and smelled like disinfectant and broken lives. Marcus sat across from me, hands shaking. I'm sorry, he said. I know that doesn't fix anything. Why? I asked. That's all I want to know. He stared at the table. I forgot you were my dad. I just saw the money. That one cut deep. You forgot who you were. I said, your mother believed you were better than this. I wasn't, he said, but I'm trying to be. We talked for an hour. It wasn't forgiveness, but it was a start. When I left, I told him I'd come back, and I did, every month, until the day he walked out. What happens when a son finally gets a second chance? Will money tear them apart again, or rebuild what was broken? And can trust ever really come back? The day Marcus got out, I was sitting on the porch, sipping cheap coffee, the kind that tastes like regret mixed with instant nostalgia. I'd rebuilt my routine around simple things. No more flashy dinners, no more trusting every smile. But seeing him walk up the driveway, dressed in jeans and a hoodie, felt surreal. He stopped at the gate, took a deep breath, and muttered, "Dad." That one word carried a lifetime of mistakes, guilt, and hope all at once. I nodded. Didn't say anything. Didn't need to. Inside, the house felt different. Quiet, tidy, almost sterile. Sarah had come by a week earlier and helped me reorganize, not out of pity, but to create a space for Marcus to start fresh. She knew me, knew I'd never trust a mess. Marcus sat on the couch, hands on his knees, staring at the floor. I know I got a lot to prove, he said finally, voice shaky. I don't expect forgiveness. I want to make it right. I studied him, saw the weight of every poor choice etched into his face. The son I thought I lost was here, someone who wanted a second shot. But could I really let the past fade? Could I let go? We started small. Grocery runs, fixing things around the house, talking about nothing, then everything. I watched him rebuild himself, piece by piece, like a house after a storm. And somewhere in those quiet moments, the money, the millions that almost destroyed us, started to feel irrelevant. But the past has a funny way of showing up. One evening, as we were sorting through some old boxes in the attic, Marcus found something that froze me, a set of envelopes labeled backup plan, just in case Dad says no. Inside were bank details, instructions, a half-finished will. Marcus's eyes met mine. I found them before leaving, he admitted. I wanted to make sure I never used them. Never again. Relief hit, but shadow lingered. I realized trust isn't just rebuilt with words. It's earned over time. Every act matters. Every slip can open old wounds. Still, that night we cooked dinner together, laughed over burnt toast, talked about my late wife, Margaret, and how her faith in him had been unwavering, even when we couldn't see it. The first real smile I saw in months was Marcus's. Tentative, hesitant, but real. And just as we were about to sit down, my phone buzzed. A text from an unknown number. Nice try covering tracks. You can't hide forever. My stomach dropped. That's when I knew the story wasn't over. Someone else knew about the coffee. Someone else had been watching. Who sent the threatening message? Is the danger over or just beginning? Can Marcus truly escape the shadow of his past? Or is history ready to repeat itself? The text haunted me all night. I stared at my phone, scrolling over like the words could vanish if I just willed them away. Marcus noticed my tension. Dad, what's wrong? He asked, eyes wide, voice low. I got a message, I said, showing him. Someone knows about everything. He leaned back, lips tight. You think it's someone from before? I didn't answer. Couldn't. My mind ran through every possibility. Collectors, old rivals, even someone from Nicole's crew who might have wanted revenge. Next morning, I called James, the hospital security guard. Big guy, military posture, never missed a beat. James, can you track this? I asked. Already ahead of you, he said. I got eyes on it. Turns out, the text came from a burner phone, but the metadata traced to a local courier company. Not much to go on, but enough to start digging. Meanwhile, Marcus was trying, really trying, every day. He chipped away at the walls we'd built around trust, helping me with errands, paying bills, even volunteering at the senior center Margaret loved. Every act of kindness chipped away at my skepticism. But that text, that shadow, it made me keep one eye open. 2 weeks later, things escalated. A package arrived at the house. No return address. I opened it cautiously. Inside, 2 coffee cups, identical to the ones Marcus and Nicole used months ago, and a note. Round 2. Don't get careless, old man. Marcus went pale. I didn't know they'd come after you again, he said, voice shaking. They're not after me, Marcus. I said quietly. They're testing us, seeing if we crack. We contacted the police. They ran a sweep. Nothing concrete. But the message was clear. Someone knew. Someone remembered. Someone was patient. That night, we sat in the living room, silence stretching between us. The shadows from the past were creeping back into our lives. I'm done running from my mistakes, Marcus said. If they come, we face it together. No secrets this time. For the first time, I felt the old bond flicker. That connection my wife had always believed in, the one she swore would survive anything. But survival doesn't come easy. The next day, as we left the house to grab coffee, ironically, I noticed a black SUV parked across the street. A man inside, dark sunglasses, watching. My gut tightened. This is it, I muttered. They're here. Marcus nodded, fists clenched. Then let's handle it, Dad. Together. And just like that, the quiet life I thought we were reclaiming, gone. Who is watching us from the SUV? Are Marcus and I walking into a trap, or finally confronting the real threat? Will our newfound trust survive the next test, or crumble under the pressure? The black SUV followed us all the way to the coffee shop. Every turn, every stoplight, my heart raced like a jackhammer. Marcus kept glancing in the rear-view mirror, jaw tight, hands gripping the wheel. "We need a plan," he said quietly. "We can't just walk in there blind." I nodded, agreed, but no panicking. Stay calm, observe. We parked a block away and watched. The man in the SUV hadn't moved, didn't blink, just waited. Marcus leaned in. "Dad, whoever this is, they know about the cups, about everything that happened. They're not just messing around." I felt a chill run down my spine. Margaret's warnings, Nicole's betrayal, the coffee switch. It all came back in a flash. But this time, we weren't unprepared. I called James. "Send backup. Discreet. Keep eyes on that SUV." James was already on it. Within minutes, we saw 2 more unmarked cars tailing us. Someone was definitely orchestrating this. Inside the coffee shop, I stayed calm, chatting with a barista about the weather. Marcus ordered, acting casual. Every second felt stretched, every heartbeat amplified. Then I saw him, a man at the corner table, sunglasses, hoodie low over his face, watching, calculating. Marcus leaned close. "That's him, the guy who sent the package." I nodded. "Stay calm. Let's bait him." We ordered another round of coffees, this time intentionally switching cups, just like months ago. The man flinched when we placed our cups on the table. He knew. "Now!" I whispered to Marcus. We subtly recorded the man with our phones, capturing every movement. James and his team were ready outside, just a silent signal away from intervening. Minutes dragged. Finally, the man made his move, reached for one of our cups. My heart stopped. James and his team stormed in. The man bolted, but he didn't get far. Cuffed in seconds, his eyes wide with shock. Back at the house, we finally sat down. Relief mixed with exhaustion. Marcus exhaled. "We did it, Dad. We actually did it." I looked at him, really looked. We did it together. No shortcuts, no schemes, no lies. Just us. That night, as we sat on the porch again, sipping safe coffee, I realized something. Money had been the spark that lit the fire. Betrayal fanned the flames. But trust, real trust, was what would keep the house standing. Marcus raised his cup. To second chances. I clinked mine against his. To learning from the past, and staying alive long enough to enjoy the future. For the first time in months, I smiled without suspicion. We'd faced greed, betrayal, and danger, and survived. Not just the threats around us, but the ones inside our own family. And as I looked at Marcus, I finally understood what Margaret always knew. Redemption is possible, but it takes courage, honesty, and a hell of a lot of heart. Do we really escape the past, or is it just lying in wait? Can Marcus keep walking the straight path, or will temptation return? And one final question. If money can destroy a family once, can it ever truly be safe again?